Hello and welcome. This is Cherie with Rehash Fiber, and today I have for you a lemons to lemonade episode. What I do with the title of Lemons to Lemonade is, for me, I take anything in the fiber art world that is not being used and think on it. How can it be adjusted so that it will be an item that is used and loved? Now, that can be anything from waste product to an item that doesn't fit right, to an item I've made and just not using, but what could I do to adjust it to make it so I would want to use it? Now, that is what I'm talking about today. A little over a year ago, I made the port side bag. It's lovely. It's a great pattern. I loved the yarn. I hand spun it. I dyed it. I made the bag. Very happy. But I wasn't using the bag. So I thought, why am I not using the bag? It's because when I went to use it, it felt like I just had a pile of fabric. And for me personally, I don't know, I just like to have my bags stiffer and lined. But yet I just didn't think about that when I was making this. So we're gonna do it now in the after. Another thing too is I like to load up my bags. You know, all kinds of stuff. So I needed handles that are not so stretchy. So today I'm going to line the bag and work on strengthening and stabilizing these handles so that this will be a bag I want to grab and use all the time. And I'm going to take you with me and show you what I do. All right, so when you have an item that's not being used or supplies not being used, and you figure out a path that you want to do to make it into something useful, that is a great place to start. So as I shared with you, I wanted to make my bag firmer. For just a second, this is Oreo. She's a little guest kitty in my studio. All right, so I wanted to have the bag nice and firm, not just a pile of fabric. I went ahead and went through my own supplies, and I had the items to do it. I had some very thick fusible interfacing and fabric. I lined both sides of the fusible interfacing. Then, this is what I've done for bags in the past and went ahead and did for this. Fold it in half and sew it up the sides. I trimmed it so that it would be the right size for this bag. Then I needed to square off the corners. While the right side was out, I took the corners and sewed straight across so that you have this triangle here. Now the whole thing, once both sides were done, is turned right side in so that the prettiest fabric was the lining of the bag. Now before I put it in the bag, I needed to finish off the top. So I had some nice little burlap looking tape, and I went ahead and glued that around the top so that would look nice. Went ahead and stuffed it in, and it fits pretty well. Now with the very thick fusible interfacing, it was kind of bowing out. What I was able to do is put some creases in it and some bends in it. So see this fusible interfacing, I just created my creases so that it would match the bag. And it's looking pretty good. Now for the handles, I did not want that stretchy yarn feeling, but I did like the I-cord. So I found some twine and I went ahead and with a needle threaded it through the middle of the I-cord. And there it is. It is strong and it won't stretch. So mission accomplished. I have a bag that I can use, put things in, it will stand on its own, and I can carry it with my handles. On to some other fun stuff. Have you been noticing this t-shirt that I'm wearing? I'm gonna let you have a close-up look. I first saw it when I was in Brooksville at Pan Bang Knits. Kristen, one of the owners, was wearing it, and I saw it and I figured it out. I was like, oh my gosh, if you sell that here, I'm gonna buy it right now. So it's got the sheep and the yarn and the drinking wine, and then you have to frog your project. And isn't that the truth? If you like knitting and wine drinking and you combine it, we usually end up having to take something out. Funny how that works. So she did not have it in the store. She told me she bought it online. So I did my research and I found the coolest website. You're gonna enjoy this. It's called Knit Ba nitbobpearl.com, and they have a ton of sheep items. So if you like sheep like I do, because I think they're just the coolest, you can go buy your sheep stuff there. I had a whole lot of fun perusing the shop, and we'll look there again when I want my next sheepy item. So there you go. If you want something fun, check out knitbobpearl.com. And speaking of sheep, my daughter and her boyfriend have gone to Iceland. So she said, "Hey Mom, I'm gonna bring some wool back for you." And I'm like, "Oh, there you go, girl." You know your mama. So they sent some beautiful pictures, and I said, "Be sure and take pictures of sheep if you see them." So she's been sending those, and I just wanted to share it with you because it's so fun seeing them and the sheep in Iceland. All right, so if you'd like to support the show, I would greatly appreciate it. Any little bit will help. If you go to rehashfiber.com and supporting members, that takes you straight on to Patreon. You can give any amount you want, and it helps keep the show going. The perk for Patreon, if you become a member, is that you get to watch the shows ad-free. So you just go directly there, see every show without any interruptions. So, all right, thank you for helping out with the show. All right, so now I have a portside bag that I will use and enjoy. So just keep that in mind when you have something you're not using. Let your brain think on it and what can be done to it that would help you want to use it, and then go for it. All right, everybody, happy turning your lemons into lemonade. Thanks for watching.